I'm Kim. This is my cookbook. The original cover was red and white checked, and it said, I am writing my own cookbook, and there was a cover on the back, but it no longer exists because, well, I've used it a lot. So I'll tell you about this recipe book that is sitting here on the island right here. This is the recipe. It's called, I call it Nanootz chicken soup. Nanootz is my grandmother. She is my father's mother. And she was born in the United States, but her family came from Italy, and she taught us all how to cook. And I chose this recipe mainly because I don't make it very often. It's kind of a labor of love. It sort of takes a little bit of time. Here's where we are with this. All right, so next thing we're going to do is take the chicken out of the package and put it in. Do not take the fat off of the chicken because that's what gives the chicken soup flavor. You gotta leave the fat. Don't tell your father. That is an homage to Nanny Cagnina. She used to smoke cigarettes. When I was little, I would pretend to have a cigarette. We all did. Come on. If you're a Gen Xer, you pretended about cigarettes. You would get like, don't tell your father. What's wrong with you? Don't you know anything? Anyway, I used to not know how to cook, so that might surprise you. So, first of all, I'm gonna prove it to you that I did not know how to cook. So, of course, my mother came over on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving and basically did everything. She made the stuffing and made a lot of the sides, and I had one directive, one order, and I had to stuff the turkey. I am not sure which hole to stuff. Turkey, clean out, stuff the biggest hole. So we've come a long way from this to inventing my own recipes. So we want to cover this chicken and the carrots with just enough water to cover it. So we're gonna put the orzo in. Okay, it is very important that we do not overcook the orzo because we need it to be good. So if our calculations are correct, for some reason that reminds me of Back to the Future. If my calculations are correct, this should be about right. And let's check the chicken. Get close to the bone. Where are we? Andrew, do you want to give me your opinion? I don't know if I want it. Now remember, this broth is the soup. Look, this is the soup. You're not draining this. You just made soup. You just made soup. When my grandmother was getting older, before I had the cookbook, I knew that I needed to document certain recipes because there was a lot of family lore about recipes. For example, my Nanootz, Nanny Cagnina, only used dried oregano in her red sauce, in her gravy, as we said, with fresh basil. There were other family members that would say she used dried basil in her recipe. I knew that it was very important for me to document some of these things before she passed away. So Nanny Cagnina was cooking dinner for Pop Cagnina. It was Nanny and Pop. And she was making white beans and pasta. As she was making the white beans and pasta, he says to her, "Hey babe, don't forget to rinse the beans," okay? So my stepmother is in the kitchen standing with her and sees her go like this. "Yeah, okay, hon." And she's doing the beans like this. Now her back is to him, so all he sees is this. "Okay, hon." My stepmother is very confused because she's not rinsing the beans. She's pretending to rinse the beans, and she's holding the beans next to the stream of water going like this. So she goes, "Ma, I don't know what's going on. You didn't rinse the beans. He told you to rinse the beans, but you didn't rinse the beans." And she goes, "I haven't rinsed the beans in 50 years. He don't know." Now it's time for the secret ingredient. Drum roll. Lucatelli. This is your cheese. This is the secret ingredient. Just wait for it. Check this out. Just Get in here. Get in here. The salt from the cheese is going to create all that missing flavor in the soup. What? Look at that cheesy delight. This is the magic. Magic. So the first scoop I always like to do with a lot of the toppings, a lot of the vegetables, and then the second scoop with just the broth. Look at that. And now we're going in with the orzo. We're gonna do, it depends on how much you want. You go with however hungry you are. A couple of scoops of orzo. So we're gonna go in with the chicken parm mixture. And there you have it. That's love in a bowl. Connecting with your family through recipes and through cooking and entertaining and hosting has always been a vital part of our family life. When you have so much love in your family and so much togetherness and celebrating holidays, many of the people that have walked through that door over the years, you know, they're not with us anymore. Coming back to the importance of family and why these recipes mean a lot to me is it's kind of a linchpin and an anchor for remembering and creating that foundation for the future generations, for my children, my nieces and nephews, kind of setting an expectation of this is what we do. I think the recipes are a foundation for that.